Here's the hard truth about the surplus funds recovery business. One wrong document can kill your entire deal. A missing signature, an outdated form, a copy when they wanted the original, and the county will not call you so that you can fix it. They'll just simply reject the claim. Weeks of work will be gone. Or even worse, another agent steps in and files a clean claim before you file a new one. And that check goes right into their pocket. This can happen even if you're dealing with the simple and clean deals because of just one incorrect or wrong paperwork. But it doesn't have to go that way. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what documents and requirements you need to actually file a clean claim by yourself and actually get paid. And no, you don't need a law degree. And no, you don't need any special license. I've been doing this business since 2018 and I am not a lawyer. Although for complex cases, I always work with attorneys and that's what you should do as well. But even if you decide to file by yourself, you're not practicing law here. You're just finding people, telling them that their money actually exists, and you're helping them get it back by filing the right paperwork, which is something that you are actually allowed to do because they can do it by themselves. The only reason they're not doing it is simply because they don't know how, and that's why they're working with us. So here's the plan. First, we'll talk about the paperwork that proves that you're even allowed to act for your client. Then we'll talk about the paperwork that proves the money actually belongs to them. And lastly, we'll go over the exact documents that you need to claim surplus funds for heirs and for owners who have passed away. All right, let's get right into it. Now, before you print a single form, there's one step that you cannot skip. You have to know what your specific county actually wants. And to be honest, this is where most beginners trip. They jump online, they grab some generic surplus funds packet that somebody is selling, and they think that they're good. They say, great, this works everywhere. Well, it doesn't. There is nothing cookie cutter in this business. A tax sale overage is not the same as a mortgage foreclosure surplus. One county lets you email everything. The next one, they actually want originals. They want the papers actually mailed in. And if you send a copy, it simply gets rejected. Some counties have their own claim forms, and some of them don't have any forms at all. And you have to actually create and write up a legal motion instead. So if you fill out the wrong stack of paperwork for the wrong county, you didn't just waste some paper. Essentially, you wasted weeks of your life waiting on a claim that was never gonna get accepted in the first place. So your very first move is simple. Go to that county's website and find their claim form and the claim instructions. Most counties post exactly what they require and exactly how they will accept it. If you can't find it online, call them. You're gonna call the clerk of courts. This office knows exactly how the claim works. Now, I started this business in 2018, and back then, we had no AI tools to help us with all the research. But in 2026, you can go to ChatGPT or Gemini and type in anything you want the AI to do for your research. For example, I went to Gemini and I typed in, what kind of documents do I need to file a tax overage surplus claim in Alachua County? And guess what? A surplus funds recovery agent helping out a client to recover these funds, it gives me all the details. They gave me a complete list and they provided the source so that I know that this came directly from the county. And it gave me back a complete list of everything that I'll need. And if there are things that you don't necessarily understand, you can ask the AI to explain a little bit further. Of course, it goes without saying that you should use the information given by AI simply as a general guideline. And you should always double check with the county or the clerk that this is actually what they require. Then you can build a folder for that county and drop every single form inside of it. You can become the expert in that one county before you move on to the next. Do that first, and you've already skipped a mistake that trips up most people in the surplus funds recovery business. Okay, so now you know what the county wants, and we're about to get to the part where most claims actually die. And that's because before you can file anything, you have to prove one thing, that you are legally permitted to act on behalf of somebody else. And in the example I provided, we talked about asking AI, and you can see that they tell us everything that you need, but you also have to supply proof. and you need authorization that your agency can act on their behalf. So the AI agent is going to give you some sort of information, but we don't want anything that's going to contradict what the county actually wants. You simply need a contract between you and the client. The county does not care about that. They don't supply that. All right, you are a total stranger to the county and they will simply ignore you if you don't have this paperwork. So here's exactly what gives you the authority to act. First, your signed contingency agreement. All right, that's the deal with your client that spells out your fees and protects both of you. You know your state's fees cap before you write a number, very important, because if your fee is too high, the entire agreement can get thrown out. Next, you need one of the two things. Either an assignment of interest, where the owner hands their claim fully over to you, or a limited power of attorney, which lets you act for them without taking the claim over. That power of attorney almost always has to be notarized. And a lot of counties want it to name the exact property address and the case number. Then you add a very simple disclosure that tells the homeowner that they are allowed to claim the money by themselves for free. Even in states where it's not required, use it anyway. It simply builds trust and it protects you if there's ever any disputes or legal actions. And one more thing, a payment directional letter. That's the simple document that tells the county to make the check payable to your company. Rather than simply mailing it to the address where your client may no longer live, they're gonna send it to you. Now, really quickly, before I give you the rest, if you want the done-for-you version of every single form, everything that I'm talking about in this video, exactly what you get in this business is going to be inside of the surplus funds profit system. You get daily skip trace leads. You get clients that are literally ready to call, phone numbers, DNC compliance. You also get access to our weekly live trainings. You get access to our attorney network who can operate on a contingent basis. You get the full document library, and you're never guessing. So if you want that kind of hand-holding so that you can skip the guesswork, go ahead and click the first link in the description and follow the application form. All right, let's get back to the documents. Now that the county knows that you are allowed to actually act on their behalf, you've got to prove that the money actually belongs to your client. This is your second stack of documents. And if you get this part right, the county has no real reason to reject your claim. But unfortunately, this is where the little stuff sinks people. They send a plain photocopy of the deed and they get rejected. Or they send an ID where the name doesn't quite match the actual name on the deed, and that gets rejected. Or they pull up a claim form that they saved 6 months ago, not knowing that the county quietly changed their entire protocol. And that will eventually get you rejected. None of these feel like a big mistake, but the county does not grade you on effort. One small sip and your entire package goes to the bottom of the pile or straight in the trash can. So here's the surplus funds paperwork that proves ownership. You need to get a certified copy of the recorded deed. Certified. All right, this is gonna come directly from the county recorder. This is not a scan or a printout or you taking a picture of it. You need a current, unexpired government photo ID as well. And if the name did change from like a marriage or divorce, then you need the certificate that connects the two names. It's called an attestation of identity. You need the county's claim form. You need to make sure that it's the same claim form that is accurate. You might also need a W-9 because almost every county in America wants one before they actually cut the check. You'll need the case number, you'll need the sell date, you'll need the sell amount, because that's the anchor. Everything else attaches to that information. And you need proof that the surplus even exists. And to prove that, you need a simple notice of surplus funds letter or a clerk certificate of disbursement or a report of the sale showing that that money is sitting there. It also helps to add a short cover letter that says who you are and who you're representing. And it lists everything that you have attached. So the clerk isn't hunting through the pile and not understanding what you're doing. Now, what happens when the person who lost the home has already passed away. Because guess what? Some of the biggest surplus funds deals actually involve heirs. And this type of work is the one that scares most beginners off completely, even though it's not that hard, to be honest. They see a deceased owner, they assume it's some legal nightmare that only a lawyer can handle, and they walk away from the entire thing. That's a massive mistake. You are literally leaving some of the largest checks in this entire business sitting on the table just because of the word probate. That can sound scary, but the truth is the documents are just a little bit different. So here's how you actually claim surplus funds for heirs. For starters, you need the death certificate. You can get that from county records, or you can use a site called Vital Check. You also need proof that your client is the rightful heir. That usually means a probate document, which can be a summary of administration or an affidavit of heirship that a judge has signed on. Now, if that person left a will or a trust, that definitely suffices. And in these cases, you'll usually bring in one of the attorneys from our network that can actually help you file that at no upfront cost. This is completely normal and is very simple. That's exactly what they are there for. Now, if you are one of my students in the surplus funds profit system, you already have access to a network of attorneys in all 50 states. And guess what? They work on a contingency basis. So you're not working with some attorney that's going to charge you a retainer or not even know who you are. And in fact, one of my students handled a Cook County, Illinois probate case, and they were able to recover over $353,000. And guess what her commission was? Over $70,000 on one claim. Another example, Chardell, she tracked down a rightful heir in a Florida case, and she earned over $80,000. See, heir claims are not the scary part of this business, and you should actually get comfortable handling them because they have less competition. The payouts can be massive, and you're actually helping people who lost their homes, who lost their parents, and their inheritances actually go to the rightful heirs. And lastly, there's one last document, not on most counties' checklists, but it protects you from your paycheck more than any other paper in the entire pile. And that is a title search or a lien search. And to be honest, most beginners skip it because technically the county doesn't require it. Big mistake. Here's what happens when you file blindly. On paper, you recover $8,000 and you're already spending it in your head. Then you find out that there was a second position. They had another mortgage, they had a home equity line of credit, or there was an HOA lien that you never even knew about. And that eats up all the money that you were supposed to get. That title search tells you who actually gets paid first. So you know what your client and you actually walk away with before you ever file. And the flip side of getting your documents right is what happens when just one is missing. My student Christian, he sat stuck in stalemate for over a year on a $138,000 deal, all because of one missing death certificate. So getting everything right before you file is extremely crucial. Otherwise, you might be wasting an entire year waiting for a payout that will never come, and you'll have to go through that entire process again. So now you've got the full picture. The documents that give you the authority to act, the ones that prove ownership, the extra ones that you need for heirs, and the one that protects you from your cut. That's how you file a clean claim in the surplus funds recovery business. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the paperwork is only half of the game. The things that actually made and broke my biggest deals were never on any checklist. They were lessons that I had to learn the hard way, with real money on the line. And a few of them I learned by losing money. I should have kept that money. So go watch this next video where I break down 11 brutal lessons after more than $100 million in surplus funds deals. These are the exact mistakes that cost me so that they don't have to cost you. So go ahead and check it out, and I'll see you on the other side.